We would like to thank our sponsors, Getaway Today. Use Getaway Today for all of your vacation planning needs. You'll get exclusive perks, great discounts, and the best customer service. Most importantly, their services are always free and easy, from experienced and passionate agents who love to make your vacation dreams come true. Head on over to getawaytoday.com from the link in our show notes to see their exclusive deals, and you can call 855-GETAWAY and let them know Walt's Apartment sent you to start planning your next vacation today.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Hello, Marvels and Marvelettes, and welcome to the Marvel Tribe. We're a group of excited and passionate individuals who have come together to share our love of all things Marvel. We are brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.com. My name is Shawn, and I'm joined by an amazing group of Marvel nerds. Sam, Chris, and David are all here with us tonight. From the big screen to the small print, feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love. It's the Marvel Tribe.
There you go.
There we go. How we doing? 3 minutes of recording before that, but hey, we got it. It's all good. How's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. We've had shows like this, and they're always end up something fun. So just strap in. It's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, I think it's been a week of technical difficulties. You guys recorded without me on Wednesday, and had probably the best 30 minutes of podcast live stream I've ever seen. Is you guys figuring out to get the thing going? I loved it. It was great. I'm going to save it forever.
Awesome.
We did an
If
interview.
anything, it just proves that we need you.
Yep.
Nick Fury.
Click the buttons in the right order.
Yes.
Me and Sam did an interview this morning with Gina Rock, the flying Tinkerbell from Disneyland from 1983 to 2005, which was so much fun. Had a few technical difficulties there. Had a few technical difficulties here, but who cares? It's Sunday night. We're here to talk about Marvel. Sam, how are you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. How about you?
Good to see you again.
It's been so long.
I know, it's been like a few hours, but Mr. Chris Alardi, Disney Done Differently, Airbnb podcast. How are you, my friend?
Marvel Tribe.
Yes.
I am doing great.
Perfect.
I'm excited for this episode to be discussed.
Yes. And Mr. Blurred Hulk, good to see you again, my friend. Welcome back from your hiatus last week. How are you, sir?
I am fat and happy. I had
Perfect.
Some barbecue today and ate some delicious ribs. So I'm living that life.
Why'd you have a barbecue today? A special day?
Yeah. It's my girl's birthday. So.
Right on. Well, happy birthday, Brenda. Hope you have a great birthday.
Yep.
Hope you guys had a great day. The weather here in Oregon is absolutely beautiful. It's like
phenomenal
80 today. It's like 85 degrees today. It's absolutely insane.
Yep.
Oh, are you guys getting snow this week?
Nope.
No.
Oh, that's just us.
That's just Indiana's getting snow. How about you, Chris? Florida good?
It might rain tomorrow, so everyone's got to run out to the stores and buckle down. No, everything's beautiful down here. I would, if I could take the opportunity. Happy anniversary to my parents. 51 years today. So
absolutely happy anniversary.
Congrats.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Mom and Dad.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Rosary and Peter.
Rosary and Peter, have a great anniversary. Happy anniversary to you all. So we are going to
Dad.
Mom and Dad.
Hey,
that makes sense.
I want my child to be like that when it's like, what's your parents' name? Mom and Dad.
Right.
Yep.
It's an ultimate sign of respect for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that my 5-year-old already does not do that.
Does she call you Samantha?
Well, I mean, she calls me Mom, but if somebody says, what's your mom name? She calls me Sam. And what's your dad's name? She says Mike.
Okay.
Or sometimes she says Samantha and Michael, and that's when she's mad at us.
Oh. I could just see her with her arms crossed too, kind of like this. Just
she's sassy.
Yeah, I wonder where she gets that. I wonder where she gets that.
We need to get her back on so we can get her take on some of this stuff. So Are you going
She
to
has not watched, probably. She has not watched the last couple episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Understandable.
They've been pretty graphic, and she's upset about that. She said, "But I want to watch them."
Right.
So we had to talk about how there's just some things that aren't for kids.
Each parent is their own. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think when we finish up with Falcon and Winter Soldier next week, I think we dedicate part of each one of our shows to Haley, to where she can pick a character and you can video her talking about that character.
Absolutely.
We'll call it Haley's Hot Takes. I don't care, whatever you want to call it, something like that. I'm also, my grandson Cashton, who's 8 years old, going to be 8 years old in a couple weeks, got a project at school last week, and he was assigned. It's a, what is it? What'd you call it, Sam? A living museum? Is that what you call it?
Living museum, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he's in a place, and he has to take on the persona of this character, and he drew Stan Lee. So I thought it was funny that his papa, hosts a show about Marvel, and he got Stan Lee. So
that's awesome.
We might need to borrow you, David, for some tips for Cash. You've met Cash. You've met Cash before, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll do something for him. I want to have him on someday and talk about it. And we'll talk about his Stan Lee project, and we're going to have some fun things coming up. We need to figure out what we're going to do when we're not talking about shows on Disney Plus, but there's so much Marvel content we can talk about and dive into, and I'm not worried about it all. We'll be here for you till the end. So let's talk about this.
I'll even dust off the M'Baku outfit and stuff.
Oh, please. Yes. Yes. You've all seen David as M'Baku, right?
I have not.
What?
Oh.
I must have missed that.
Oh, it's deep in the Instagram feed.
We'll repost that and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We will put that up there this week. David as M'Baku.
It was a highlight at the Comic-Con. So.
Oh, absolutely. This week, remind me. We'll put that up. Breanna put that up for sure. Let's dive into this week's episode. Powerful episode.
Yes.
A lot of emotion, and I just watched it again just to kind of refresh my brain. I just finished like 10 minutes ago, just kind of refresh and take it all in. I'm like, damn, this is all really, really powerful stuff, attacking so many things that are in the world right now, which I think is Marvel's doing an amazing job with this. Sam, what'd you think of the episode before we dive into your recap?
I have zero complaints. Their storytelling is just incredible. The character development is amazing. I'm loving it.
Okay. David, what'd you think?
I co-sign what Sam says. The storytelling is it's phenomenal. Marvel, I've always had faith in Marvel's ability to tell stories, and when they option to say we're gonna tell real stories about real things in mix of all of our superhero stuff, and I was like, I can't wait to see it, and I have not been disappointed. It's great show. Cool.
Chris, what'd you think of this last episode?
I think this episode is now going to raise the bar for every other television show that comes out, no matter what, Netflix, anybody, because it introduced every character. It touched every character in this episode, touched real world problems, and had a beginning and an end all within one episode. And this just solidified the Emmy for them.
Wow. Now, was it last week's episode you said you didn't like?
It wasn't so much that I didn't.
You didn't like it. It wasn't
my
favorite.
not favorite of the bunch, and that was because of the cutting with. I didn't see it. It wasn't paced properly for me.
Right. Okay. I thought the episode was great. Like I said, very powerful. I was down watching it, and my wife says, "What are you watching?" Because she has no idea what it is. And I said, "This is the show that we do the podcast about." And she goes, "Wait a minute, that's Bucky." And I said, "Yeah, that's Bucky." And she goes, "Oh, I love him." And she got excited about seeing Bucky. And then she's sitting there watching it. And she goes, "Wait, what do those wings do?" And I'm like, "Do you want to watch it?" And so I've actually convinced her that after we finish another show we're watching, that we're going to watch all the Marvel movies from the beginning to end, which I've never done. So I'm looking forward. Awesome. I'm looking forward to do that. And I told her we had to watch Captain Marvel as well. And she said, "Well, okay." Yeah. But she wasn't excited about that, but she said she'd do it. So I'm looking forward to that. To help me, I think, understand what we're talking about here more. But I'm going to continue. Stop rambling. I'm drinking my energy drink. So Sam, hit us with the recap for this week.
All right. So this was the 5th episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was titled Truth. It opened with a slightly distressed John Walker running into a warehouse away from the public after he killed that flag smasher. Sam and Bucky confront him and they ask him to give up the shield. Obviously, he refuses, and a big fight breaks out. But he was no match for Falcon. Well, he was kind of a match, but at the end, Falcon and Falcon and Bucky overpowered him. They forcibly took the shield away from him. We did see Sam's wings get torn up in that fight. Then after that, we get to see the government strip the title of Captain America away from John Walker. That was a very heated scene. He was not happy. And then a very mysterious woman, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, pops up and says that her name is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. And we know that that is Madame Hydra.
Madame Hydra.
And she tells John Walker to wait for her call. Sam ends up leaving his damaged Falcon wings with Torres, and he decides he's going to sit back and go back and visit his family until there's a new lead on Carly, who is hiding underground. Sam does take the shield with him, and he pays a visit to Isaiah Bradley. That is probably the most emotional and most eye-opening part of this episode, is that conversation between Isaiah and Sam. And he explains how the government had injected him and some of the other soldiers with different variations of the serum, and everyone else except him died due to its instability. He believes that the government mistreated him because of him being a black man, and he says he doesn't think that any self-respecting black man would carry the shield, and that, puts a lot of doubts in Sam's head about becoming the new Captain America. Then we see Bucky go after Zemo, and he finds him at the Sokovian Memorial. Zemo reminds Bucky that the only way to stop Carly is to kill her. Bucky kind of has that scene where looks like he's gonna shoot Zemo, ends up not doing that. That shows a lot about Bucky's character development, and he does hand him over to the Dora Milaje. He asks Io for a favor before she leaves, and that's, I'm assuming, that box that we see him hand Sam later. Sam is helping his sister restore the boat. They're planning on selling it. They call in some favors that their family was owed, and they got some help from community members. They get the boat put together. Bucky comes and he helps out. They decide not to sell the boat. And we see Sam and Bucky kind of playing frisbee with the shields, talking about Bucky's past, Sam's future. Bucky does leave after promising to return once Sam has a new lead on Carly. And Sam is training with the shields. He's mastering fighting with it. We are not seeing him kind of lay down about it at all. He is putting himself out there, and he's training like a beast. We do see Sharon assign Bartok a new, it is Bartok, right? Bartok.
Yep.
A new task.
Batroc, yep.
Isn't it Bartoc?
Nope, B-A-T. Batroc.
Batroc. Okay, Batroc.
Bleeper.
Okay. Sharon assigns Batroc a new task. We see him deliver a package to Carly, and we see that she's trying to stop the GRC voting on the Patch Act in New York. Torres alerts Sam over Carly's whereabouts. At the GRC voting, Carly's followers begin their attack. Sam opens the box given to him by Bucky. We then cut to the credits before the contents of the box are revealed, but we have our thoughts on that. And then in a post-credit scene, John Walker forges his own tricolor shields.
Okay, he forged it. He welded together some metal. I mean, come on, that's not going to be no damn shield. Come on.
That scene was huge, though.
Oh, man.
That scene.
The symbolism in that scene compared to the very first opening up movie of the Marvel universe and stuff. There's some real symbolism in that.
Well, I wanted to ask about that because my son Brady, who listens to every one of our shows, so shout out to Brady.
Hi, Brady.
Right on, Brady.
Hey, Brady.
Okay, so he says there's a lot of symbolism between Tony Stark and John Walker. He said because of the
whole episode.
Because of the thing with in the trial when he got excommunicated from the military and the government's against him, and then obviously the forging of the
well, even
a lot of Tony Stark
the first fight. If you notice in the fight, he's screaming, "I am Captain America." The only other Avenger to ever say his name is Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and then that. The whole thing is a comparison of Iron Man throughout that fight of Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That's the recreation of the Civil War fight, in my opinion. And John Walker was the Iron Man character of that.
Yep.
So we want to go back to the beginning and talk about. I mean, the fight obviously was pretty awesome.
I love Bucky's. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
Sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and they handled that boy too. I mean, and he has the super serum, right? So he has the same thing Bucky has.
Yep.
Yes.
Obviously. Okay, so is it stronger in you like when it's fresher, or are you just strong all the time?
Until Bucky uses his
like if you're a
arm.
vampire, if you're a vampire, I mean, you're more potent in the beginning. So, right, drink your tea. There you go.
I don't think it works that way and stuff, but it definitely. I mean, it increases all your abilities and stuff. But the thing is, it comes down like if say you're just a couch potato and you took the serum, you're just going to be a super couch potato and stuff. You're not going to be kicking Bucky's butt. Your punches may hit a little harder in your kicks, and you can jump higher. But it's the same thing. So when it comes down to fight skill set and stuff, Bucky hasn't been beat by 100 years and stuff. I mean,
but Shawn, think about like when they're showing like that first episode or the second episode where you meet John Walker,
mm-hmm.
And they're showing all like he already had extreme strength. He has incredible fighting abilities. Yep. So that's why it was like it was a big deal for him to take it because he already had some ability.
Well, John. I'm sorry. I wanted to say John Walker was, and they never talk about this in the MCU, but in the comic books, they talk about peak human beings, and just to kind of give you a notion, like T'Challa, before he took the route, he was a peak human being. Like his physical levels were off the chart already. So they call those people peak human beings. John Walker is the same thing. That's why they did the testing at MIT and all this stuff, because he was a top tier. He had this anomaly in him that wasn't seen out, in regular human beings and stuff. He was a peak human. So when you gave him the serum, so it just kind of puts him even further up the, so he was definitely a better tier fighter and more powerful than the Flag Smashers and stuff were, because he already, like Sam says, he already tested off the charts and stuff.
Okay. So I just have a question. I don't want to sound stupid because it's probably a dumb question.
Never.
Does the serum make you immortal?
No, it slows down.
Bucky's 106, right? Supposedly.
It slows down your aging process. I mean, like with everything else. You're healing. Well, put it this way: we die because our body starts to deteriorate and doesn't heal, and we end up to the point where we can't repair it ourselves, and we just end up withering and die. With the serum, it's battling a healing factor that's built into that serum.
It regenerates cells.
Correct. So he has a longer lifespan and stuff. So it's going to take a lot.
That's why when Black Widow comes out, I say that she taken the serum because she healed way too fast in a couple of those movies. But we'll get to that.
We can discuss that. Absolutely.
For me, the beginning was actually in the title of the show. Truth. It's the comic book title for Red, White, and Black, which is the Isaiah Bradley storyline. Yep. And what happened? Walker has to face that he is not perfect and he killed someone. He lies to Lamar's parents about the death
terrible.
of
So
Oh,
irritating.
Man.
right?
Yeah.
His sister knew he was full of it.
He
Oh
could,
yeah, that sister wanted to smack the
yeah.
out of
Yeah.
him.
Oh, and the thing is, he didn't have to lie. He could have told the truth, and they still would have said, he could have been like, "I'm going to get my
I'm going
revenge.
to avenge his-
his death and stuff," and told
Mhm.
the truth, and been a better human being for it. But
Yeah.
he opted to just lie like a
Yeah.
coward and stuff.
And then you have Bucky, the great line that you're not amending, you're avenging,
Avenging.
Yep.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it's Bucky coming to tell the truth of himself, of who he is. And then the ultimate was the Isaiah story. The truth was finally told of what was done. So
And Sam stepping into his truth.
Sam wiping the blood off of that shield was very telling right there.
Mhm.
Of almost like, I took it as, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting this shield down.
Yeah.
So if you guys also would notice that in this episode is the first time Bucky actually told Sam when he was talking about the shield that Sam retired. Well, he retired the shield. He understood what Sam. First is why'd you give up the shield? It was throughout the whole story. It was, why'd you give up the shield? Blah 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 and everything. And then it's the first time he used those words. When you retired his shield and stuff. So I thought that for me that was powerful because I knew that's what he was doing in the beginning and stuff. So
Yeah, and Sam and Bucky are finally finding a balance in their relationship where they are understanding each other. And that's not something that we typically see from them.
No, I love their it's a bromance now. It's official.
I do miss the staring contest.
I think we'll be more of that and stuff.
Right.
I mean, I love the thing at the end. They're like, we're colleagues, we're coworkers. Yeah, we're friends of a friend. We have a friend who's gone now. But so we're just our guys. We're guys who know another guy and stuff like that. I just love that back and forth. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
And hey, hi, I'm Bucky. Hi, I'm Sarah. Hey, I'm Sarah. It's like,
So
dude, you hitting on my sister?
Right. So we go from the fight, we go to the trial where he's excommunicated. You're no longer you're stripped of all of your military whatever. You are no.
He was other than honorably discharged.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line. I'm like, damn.
He loses his pension. He loses his health care.
Yep.
He loses any association to the military.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And it's the scene that made me appreciate John Walker in this whole show.
Because I did what you wanted me to do. I did what you asked me to do.
Right. He showed that what is done to a lot of soldiers that come home and they have to deal with. But we saw the origin of a villain. And listen, comic books, we want the origin story. At least that's what I'm always in for.
Yeah.
And you saw what it wasn't just taking the serum and killing the Flag Smasher. It was what was done to him. What was taken away from him to become what he's becoming. Yep. That's what I took out of it.
I love origin stories for bad guys that are that set up that way. It tells so much. It's more in depth than just saying the guy's just a psychopath or he's just bad. There's something that led up to, like, he was already okay. So John Walker's already he's been through the military experience.
He's got horrible PTSD.
He has horrible PTSD. He already has a horrible personality on how he deals with things. And so
because he had that fancy, military therapy when he came home, that is so beneficial. Which we saw from Bucky.
But you got they're also lending themselves from the comics where his parents get killed in the comics.
Correct. And that's the thing. The thing that tethered him to, I guess, not going, ape shit, excuse my language, was Lamar. Lamar was like that conscience for him. And when that got violently taken from him, all bets were off. And
we've seen that. We've seen that throughout the series. We've seen every time he needs a voice of reason, he needs somebody to talk him off the ledge. It's if Lamar is there, that's who's doing it.
Well, that's who's talking to him in that first scene. right?
Mhm.
He's hearing
Yeah.
Lamar in his head. That was done great.
Yeah.
Great.
So from there, he's sitting outside. He's upset. Then Julie Louise Dreyfus's character. Who is she, guys? Because I have no idea who that is.
She's
So-
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, but don't call her Val. Call her
Right.
Val, but don't call her Val.
Don't call her Val.
Call me Chris.
She
but
is
not Chris.
she is Madam Hydra.
Yes.
Meaning what? Tell me, because I don't understand what you mean.
She's a Nick Fury level team builder, espionage, spy, double agent, Hydra, and the U.S. I mean,
Shields.
She purposely walks the gray line all the time, and it's for her self benefit and stuff. And I mean, she's like, imagine if the devil was around to play Mephisto, was this a play around in the playground and it can be not touched? She's that person. You're not really going to get your hands on her and stuff. I love it.
Is Madam Hydra a scroll?
So
Yeah,
in the Secret Invasion, it's a part of what kind of the catalyst for that. Nick Fury kills Madam Hydra, and when she dies, she transforms into a scroll.
Okay.
So that could
I
be
look
the
at
angle.
her. Yeah, but the one thing that's throwing me off, where I think they're also going to take part of another storyline, she's got the purple streak in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And that can go, and she can become the character that Shawn, the easy way is she's the female leader of making a bad team. The way Nick Fury built the Avengers, she's going to build.
I entirely agree.
Suicide Squad.
So she's a female Hayward, right, from WandaVision.
Oh,
No,
way
worse.
better.
Worse?
Oh, yeah.
Better.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
She's
Better,
going
okay.
to create a team of anti-Avengers.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is what are they called? They're called the
Thunderbolts or the
Thunderbolts.
Dark Avengers,
The
whichever
Dark
way they want to
Avengers,
go.
yeah.
So
Okay.
if we could when we get to the part with Zemo, I have a whole theory on that part.
okay.
Okay, so I personally think Madam Hydra may be our power broker.
Really?
No.
Hmm.
I think
so.
I think it's Sarah.
Refer to him 3 times
think it's
as a
Sarah?
male.
Is that her name?
3
Sarah?
times as him.
Sharon.
Sharon.
No.
Sharon. Sorry.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. Yeah,
Carter?
whatever. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a bit. 'Cause she's making phone calls and making shit happen.
I think
just
it's
like that. So
I think it's going to be the end credit Thunderbolt Ross.
okay.
I think we're not going to get a reveal until the end credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
all
we're
the
going to
stuff
get a
is-
reveal.
and I
So
don't
the-
think. Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
the purple hair, Chris. Are you thinking it's Agatha? Is that what you're saying?
All along, brother. All
Right?
along.
Okay. All right. So it's all
Don't play
connected.
We're having a
Here we
good
go.
show. Don't play
Yeah.
the song, Shawn.
I won't play it. I promise. All right. So after that scene, what comes up next? Is it the
Zemo at the Sokovia statue.
Yes.
The memorial. No.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's-
Wait, we did skip a little bit, but that's okay. We can hop back to it. I was
No,
going to say that
whichever-
we see Sam with Torres.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Yes, that's an important scene and stuff. So Sam's with Taurus. He's like saying, "Hey, how bad is it?" Taurus, the guy, the kid with intel. He's like here's the deal. Captain America killing a foreign national on foreign soil is a huge. So much so the government stepped in. They totally, they took over. They're benching everybody. I mean, Flores spills the tea because he's the guy. He is Falcon's guy now, as far as the intel guy and stuff. And while he was, having that conversation with Taurus and stuff, he gives him his bag, and Taurus, opens the bag, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to these?" Which are Falcon's wings. For me, this is a very important part because we all know that when Sam picks up the mantle of Captain America, Taurus picks up the mantle of
Falcon. Yes.
And so when he says, "Hey, what do you want to do with these?" He said, "Keep them." I was like, "Dude, oh yes, he is." There's the new Falcon right there. He's going to repair those wings, and this is my prediction. There's nothing. I mean, it's all a prediction at this point in time, but we will see Taurus donning the wings in the final battle. He's going to come in and surprise. It's like, Sam's going to be in the battle or whatever with his new Wakanda stuff, which we'll talk about. And Taurus comes in with, the Falcon wings just fitting him just all right. So
is he on his right?
If he says that, I don't know if that's cheese or if that's I don't know. I don't know. I don't want that to happen. That's a captain. That's a captain and Sam thing. So
then we see Sam go take the shield to talk to Isaiah Bradley. Let's talk about that scene.
Whew. All right. So we all know that Marvel came out ahead of time and said, we're going to talk about race and current events and stuff, what's going on here. And there's the online community kind of been torn as far as some it's weird. Like there's some people are like, yeah, no, you're stretching. It's not really bad. But this episode kind of said, yeah, it's exactly that. We're going to talk about race, and we're going to talk about it in some ugly truths and stuff. And that conversation that Isaiah had and stuff, I mean, when he was in the backyard watering his plant and Sam showed up with the shield and he's like, is that what I think it is? And Sam goes to show him, he's like, don't even open it. You can see the pain in his face and stuff. Like he's been scarred. That shield put Isaiah through some serious hell and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, I want to know the story. Tell me, I'm having some trouble here and stuff, trying to figure out what to do. And so he goes in and he tells them the hard truth and stuff. He ended up, they started testing on him, like him and a bunch of different soldiers, just like the Tuskegee Airmen in real life and stuff. They were giving them tuberculosis shots, telling them it was for tuberculosis when they were, just killing them and seeing what would happen to them. They're injecting them with all these different poisons and stuff. Well, they did that with the serum and stuff. They're trying to perfect and replicate the serum. And they took a group of these military men, which Isaiah was a part of, and started injecting them. And they didn't tell them what this was and stuff. They had no idea. They would send them on missions. The guys would die early and stuff, unknown reasons and everything else, except for Isaiah. He was like one of the last few guys left. And they ended up, there's a mission where, they were going to leave some of our boys behind, in a POW camp. And Isaiah took the shield and he went to go save her, bring our boys back. And he did. And for that act, they gave him 30 years in prison and stuff. I mean, so, and during that 30 years in prison, they didn't want to acknowledge he had the super serum. He was a super soldier. He represented America or nothing. They just locked him up and like he was a dirty little secret. And then they started running tests on him and stuff. They told his family he died. The letters, his wife didn't believe it, send them letters and stuff. Never got to him. In fact, he mentioned on two parts of the story about how a nurse kept all the letters, and then also how a nurse helped him fake his death and stuff as well. And she gave the letters to him and stuff. There's some theories and maybe possible Easter egg about who that nurse is and stuff. But anyway, the story. So she died while the love of his life died while he was in prison and stuff. And this is a country that, he fought for, he bled for. They tested him without his permission. They lied to him. They had him do missions. He fought for this country and stuff. And then at the end of the day, they couldn't face the reality of, well, maybe we have another Captain America. They locked him up and threw away the key and stuff. And that's where we are. And it's so scarred. I mean, he lifted up his shirt. He showed Sam the scars and where they're, they took their pound of flesh from him trying to replicate the serum and stuff. And it was, for me, it was a hard watch. I'm sitting there balling my fists, like saying I had so many questions and stuff. And I have to say, part of me was grateful that Captain America, that Steve was under ice, because to have that story exist and Steve it was alive and around that whole entire time and not kind of figured, the questions I would have had would have been, man, this. I don't know how I would have felt about Steve Rogers and stuff. So, and that's just me. That's just my personal take on that and stuff. And so
I got a question since Friday that I've been I need to know. And this has been sitting with me. When Isaiah says, and this is for you guys, when Isaiah says that no self-respecting black man would take that shield. Mm-hmm. Okay, one powerful line. Mm-hmm. But by Sam, we know that Sam's going to be doing it. Is he betraying Isaiah? I need explanation on that. I don't know what to really take of that line, and it's been bothering me since Friday. And I couldn't send it to a text so you guys would understand how I was explaining it.
So I can explain it very because I understood exactly. In real life terminologies, I can explain to you in a story that affects me very personally and deeply. So my grandfather, he grew up in the South as a kid and stuff. He watched my great uncle get lynched in front of him by neighbors who are white. My grandfather was a young boy. He passed away, had a distrust for white people. There's a fear, a distrust, these boys, they went to school together. And because there's a rumor that my great uncle had a crush on one of the guy's girls or something like that, got him lynched and hung. My grandfather witnessed that, and it stuck with him, right? That distrust of white people, it affects them, and I understand where it comes from. I don't have that. As a black kid growing up as a black man, I have plenty of white friends. I don't judge. I do my best to judge people based on who they are and stuff. And so it did, because I have white friends doesn't mean I am dishonoring the fact what my grandfather went through or anything like that. And so in the same vein, the trauma and the experience that Isaiah went through was so real that he can't ever get to a place where he could see a black man carry that shield. It's just because of what that represented to him in his life and stuff. That was not the same thing for Sam. Sam is from a different era, and he's from an era where he gets an opportunity. He got opportunities Isaiah never got. He was a part of the Avengers. He got to battle for this earth. He got recognition. So because of that, he's not betraying anybody. Isaiah was speaking his truth, and Sam was hearing his truth, and that's where that is, and that's where that story. And I hope people take away from that story is that it was a person who was telling their truth about their trauma and their pain, but it wasn't saying if you pick this up, you are a disgrace to our race. It was saying,
two things. One, thank you very much for sharing that story, your personal experience, and you explained it in a way that I now truly understand that and want to go back and watch. And I never thought a Marvel podcast would touch me so much, but I am.
I was going to add that I feel like it might be a little different if Elijah were trying to take it, because that generational trauma, that is in their family. Mm-hmm. So it might be harder for him because that is his grandson. Mm-hmm. It might be harder to see his grandson step into that position, but Sam's kind of disconnected because he's not like David said, it is generations later, and he's not a direct descendant of Isaiah. So I do think that this is kind of his way of saying hey, times have changed. And I'm gonna do this to prove that I can do it, because Isaiah told him they'll never let a black man be Captain America.
Yeah.
And Sam said, "Let's see, watch me." So let's see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: Sam's in the position of it's not really up to the government, and it's truth. It's not. You don't get to tell me what I cannot do and stuff, and that's where we're going to come at this and stuff. So,
Avenger. He's not being paid to do this.
And the shield is not owned by the government.
Nope.
That is Wakandan property.
Actually, it is. Yes, 100. It is.
Thanks, Sherry.
Yeah. So just to go into that part with Zemo at in Sokovia,
At the memorial.
the memorial. Nerd part, they did a lot of editing from all the previews around that statue, but whatever their reason was, is that the crater that Ultron created? Is that where that is?
The ground, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So Shawn, across that lake, then Wanda's over there.
So yeah, so like, so wait, let's think about Civil War. Thunderbolt was like.
Well, wait. First, Zemo, right? The whole thing, Bucky, but he does the right thing and he turns them over. Yeah.
So the Dora Milaje, yeah.
When the Dora Milaje, when they mention that, number one, we get to see the Bugatti spaceship again. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But when she says they're taking him to the raft, there's a reason that was written.
That is where I'm coming from. Where we're okay. So
what's in the raft today? As of today,
what is the raft?
So the raft is, David. You'll probably explain it.
It's a super prison. It's basically a super prison in the middle of the water. That,
in Wakanda?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is international.
Think of like Guantanamo Bay type thing.
Oh, is that what Civil War? Was it the same thing in Civil War?
Yep.
Okay.
Same.
So what is being run from?
So who's in there though?
Who's in there?
Now Zemo, but let's back up because Abomination is in there.
Yeah.
Night Vision.
Right?
Oh, no.
It's run by Thunderbolt Ross.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Now we're seeing the creation of U.S. Agent, and we know the Taskmaster is coming, and Elena Belova, and we've seen Val. Congratulations, everybody! Zemo is the leader of the Thunderbolts. For that, we're gonna get them.
Sorry.
But why would they take him there? I don't understand what them taking him there would do.
He's going to prison in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Thunderbolt Ross is the
leader.
Warden?
Yeah.
Part of the new agreement with Wakanda, what Wakanda did with the rest of the world, but beyond just sharing some of their technology and stuff, is also to participate in some international affairs. And they could very easily just take Zemo and disappear him because they have the right. They're right in the Wakanda tradition. You killed our king.
Yeah.
You have the right to exact our revenge, absolutely. But they are participating in the political, international theater and stuff, and so they're going to take them to the Raft. And make sure this is the hardest of hardcore supermax prisons and stuff on the planet in the MCU. On the planet. There's other places out in the universe that is way worse. But Grandmaster for one. So that's why they're taking them. They're dropping them off there.
Zemo's not breaking out of that with some fire alarms going off.
No. We ain't gonna get the montage where he just kind of walks out and hides behind a. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so I understand, that's where everyone was locked up at the end of Civil War, correct? Is that at the same place?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Carry on. So after that, we go to Louisiana next, where Bucky flirts with Sarah. That's why I said Sarah, because I was thinking of Sarah. So Bucky's flirting with Sarah. Sam doesn't like it. Bucky's very strong and helps fix the boat really quick and brings Sam this really cool box. Right?
Yes.
The boat. What do you guys think about the boat?
It's a shrimp boat.
It's a boat.
It's a boat.
Shrimp boat. You get lots of shrimp.
I look at the boat as it's Sarah and Sam's parents passed, right? And they're supposed to sell it, right? Sarah's supposed to sell it.
Yeah.
They're trying to rebuild it. It takes the town to help them to rebuild it.
The favors that were owed to their parents.
So
call them in.
It's the storyline of the show. That's what that boat is actually representing. That's what I'm taking out of it. But
okay.
I
I like that. I'll say this: every piece is done purposefully, right?
Yep.
They all have layers to them, and why they're shot on purpose. I mean, even from the training montage of Sam running on the left hand side and stuff, it's all done purposely. It has layers. So yeah, I actually like that. It does represent the show and the story guide.
So we go from there, and then we go back to Sharon. Correct? Sharon is on the phone with Bart Batroc, and then she's saying, "I got a job for you." He's yelling at her in French. She says, "Calm down," blah blah blah. And then the next thing you go, and so where is she at? Where do we think she's?
She's in Madripoor, right?
Yeah, she's in
Madripoor.
Still okay.
So here's why I don't think she's the power broker and stuff. So she just solidified that she is financing the Flag Smashers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She hired Batroc the Leaper, which I always hated that comic book day, but it is what it is. Batroc, and they've done it before. Nick Fury hired Batroc to help sabotage the boat when Captain America was on there with the Black Widow, and Black Widow was doing a double secret op and stuff. So he's definitely no stranger to working with Sharon there. But the fact that he is bringing weapons and everything else to the Flag Smashers. The fact also, I'm saying this, I think she gave Carly, Sam's sister's phone number so she can get a hold. Sharon has connections. Don't let her being ousted to Madripoor fool you and stuff. She is very. I mean, you can't be a high art dealer the way she is and stuff without having mad connections. And she comes from mad connections. She had one of the best teachers and stuff in Nick Fury and stuff. And so I think she is funding the Flag Smashers. So,
do you think that she could be working with Nick Fury?
Possibly. Nick Fury wouldn't like the global this repatriation.
Like, he would not like the GRC. That's why I said I think whoever is okay. Obviously, I think the power broker has their hands deep in the GRC, and I think that he is having her on the ground while he's up in space playing around. Helping the Flag Smashers take down the GRC.
Or did we not get to see during Winter Soldier, Zemo brainwashed her then?
I don't know.
Sorry.
You can. I don't think Zemo brainwashed her, because there's the deprogramming and the amount of. I mean, first of all, the Hydra brainwashing of Winter Soldier was a very involved process and stuff, and Zemo was just out to destroy all evidence of that and stuff, and he only did that. He only used the Winter Soldier to further, to the ends to justify his means and stuff. He wanted to destroy. He basically wanted to take a super soldier and destroy all the other super soldiers. I don't think he would. There's no benefit for him to, proceed with the brainwashing stuff of Sharon and stuff.
But she's gonna have isn't the whole reason that Batroc is there? Batroc, right? Is there to get. He wants the Falcon, or he wants Sam.
He wants Sam. He wants Sam. Yeah. Oh, he's done with this getting beat and all this other. He wants Sam.
Okay.
First Cap kicked his butt, and now Sam. He almost narrowly escaped in the first episode and stuff. And so he wants his revenge, and she's offering Sam up to him to do this job and paying double. So yeah, I don't think she's a great. I don't know.
She could be setting Batroc up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she could be like, "Oh, you want a piece of him? He's going to destroy you." So.
Or she could step in and kill him too, or something, or stop him.
Samantha, could she be a Skrull?
Could Sharon be a Skrull?
Didn't we discuss that once? I thought there was a possibility. We said
no. We said Madam Hydra was.
Oh, okay.
Sharon, it's definitely a possibility. And we know, like, especially if I think that she's working with Nick Fury, because we know that Nick Fury is working with some Skrulls right now.
So I have a question for you guys.
I like that.
I got a question for you guys. The senator that took away all of John Walker's powers, said you're no longer, was the same guy that was talking at the end and that convention before the lights went out.
Mm-hmm.
Could that guy be the power broker?
I do think it's somebody that is very responsible for
is
the
it
GRC.
someone we've already seen? Is it someone we've already seen?
So he's the one that gave the shield. Sam gave the shield to him, right? To put in museum.
The guy with the beard. The guy
Correct,
with the beard.
yes.
Yeah.
And he's the same guy that tells Walker, you're no longer Captain America. And then he's the guy in the meeting that they're starting before the lights go out.
He's likely taking orders from the power broker.
Okay.
Is
All right.
what
Okay.
I'm going to
That's a
suggest.
great
I'll say
question.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I
I think the power broker is running the GRC for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's too slimy of and I hate to say this, but our villains have a little bit of finesse to them. I think he's too slimy of a senator to be the
fair
power
enough.
broker and stuff.
But could he be?
He's a senator. He's
Right.
all
Yeah.
slimy.
Yeah. So
He couldn't be that Thunderbolt Ross guy. If that couldn't be him,
No.
wait, what's the question?
the senator couldn't be Thunderbolt Ross as well, who's running the GRC, who's in charge of everything, who's actually the power broker.
No, that's not Thunderbolt Ross. His character hasn't changed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Speaking of Thunderbolt Ross, Chris,
Yes.
you noticed something in this episode. What did you notice?
I don't know if it's 100% fact because my eyes aren't great. As you can see, I'm wearing glasses. But in the credits is the Sokovian Accords are what's shown prior to them showing the actors' names and the director and all of that. Thunderbolt Ross's name is in the credits, and it's
says,
very blurry.
According to Thaddeus Ross.
So why would they put his name in there? He is
Who knows?
until
Yeah.
So
We'll find out.
So
I guarantee you we'll get the answer. We will. It won't be it's just a misdirect. I think there's a very specific
the
reason.
one part that I saw when Bucky's laying down on the couch and Sam's nephews are playing with the shield, which has got to be the coolest thing ever to play with the real shield.
Right.
He's got dog tags on, right? And the dog tags were lost in Winter Soldier. Are those Steve Rogers dog tags?
Ooh,
Could be.
I forgot they were lost in Winter Soldier. Wow.
It was specific, like it was such a shot for those dog tags to be shown there. That's why I was like, I thought he lost those.
Yeah.
I don't know. Steve could have gave him his dog tags before he went on his final mission and stuff.
Well,
he
talked to him
they had
about
that
the
shield,
talk, right?
They had that long talk about the shield.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's a good eye. I'm gonna see if I can do some super zooming and figure that out and stuff.
So that takes us to the end of the episode where they're going to have the big council meeting, right? And the Flag Smashers say they're gonna stop the vote, right? To remove 20 million refugees. So Torres calls him and says, hey, check this out over here. Here's the little ping before all the deal. And now there's a ping in New York. And then Sam just says, okay, Torres, I got it. And just basically hangs up on him, grabs the suit. Thumbprint opens the case. It's reminding me of the movie Seven, where Brad Pitt's the only what's in the box. I actually sent it to Chris that morning. I'm like, what's in the box? The picture of Brad Pitt all upset because he didn't know it was in the box. And because I had no idea, Chris sends me a picture of what it is. I'm like, holy crap, that'd be cool. So
yeah, I got
Wakandan flight.
The Wakanda, yeah.
I got Pulp Fiction vibes with that and stuff, with opening the suitcase and stuff. I loved it. But they're okay. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my love for our podcast and everything else. But inside the GRC, when we just realized that there's sleeper agents inside there, when they shut off and they did the little, and not Hell Hydra, but they did the one world, one people.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, Ian, just in my head, I heard the theme to Marvel Tribe. It's like the one world, one people.
One team, one love.
Yes, I just heard Marvel Tribe in there. I was like, oh my god, I'm really kind of.
So I didn't catch that part, but I sat there because that's Thompson Square Park in Manhattan, and I've been in that park, and I said, how did terrorists get from over there
right?
into New York with nobody tracking them. But
Yeah.
it's comic books.
Underground. They
It's
said they're
comic
going underground.
You can't go from Europe.
And this is
They
another.
took the channel. I don't know.
And this is another reason why I think Sharon Carter is funding the Flag Smashers, because here's the thing. Carly is like 20-something. There's no way with her
that old?
experience. She does not have the
She's like 16.
Girl looks like she's like 12, dude.
I know.
She's 20-something in real life and stuff,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have the resources and stuff or the skill set to have a network like that to be able to hide from the international authorities to pop up in New York and stuff like that without a great amount of help and intervention, which Sharon Carter has a skill set to give her. So there's
and
no way.
she knew exactly where to find her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's the only thing. I don't know why. It's never been explained yet. Why do people follow her? Because I wouldn't listen to her.
She's too young.
To
Would you
Carly?
listen to her? Yeah. What is she like? They never said why she's.
So I think there's a tie-in that's going to get revealed about, what was it, Madame Donia?
Madame Donia?
Madame Donia, and
Donia,
her, and possibly Madame Donia and Sharon. I think there's. This is my theory. I think we're going to see that, and it's going to come to like some kind of reveal, and whether it's through an explanation of why we're so, what's going on, like how. I think there's that, and that's. Whatever happens between that tie-in, which is, some people get thrown into leadership and stuff for horrible reasons and stuff. And I think I believe we're going to get that answered. And I hope we do. We can't end the show without answering why this young girl is the face of the Flag Smashers and stuff. It can't just be namesake, because you could name anyone Carl. So, or Carl, or whatever you want to say.
So he opens. He opens up the box. We all assume it's the Wakandan flight suit, correct?
Yes.
Then here comes the credits, right? You think it's in the credits. I didn't even know there was a post-scene credit scene until Chris said about 3 hours later in the day, "Hey, there's a poster." I'm like, "What the hell?" So I had to go back and watch it. Then you see.
Always watch the post credits, man.
Right. Yeah. Then you watch.
Let me give a big spoiler. Okay. So I had the privilege. Thank you for having me on Extra Magic Hour. Right.
No problem.
And we ended recording that. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Jesus, sorry.
I couldn't go to sleep. And I literally just put it into Marvel Tribe and said, well, I guess I'm staying up to watch this episode. And David replies right away, I'm making popcorn.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning and see all these comments. I'm like, damn, they stayed up all night and watched that crap. That's crazy. But
it was so worth it. It was awesome.
So he's in there. He's angry. He's building his new shield with his metal and a MIG welder, which is not going to be as strong as a vibranium shield. Chris thinks there's more to this shield, but I don't really know how there could be. With just I took welding in school, and it's not that strong. So I know. I feel like it's not going to work. And then David sends us this TikTok in the middle of the week, or one of you sends us TikTok of the guy jumping around with the shield.
That's how a shield would fly. A shield that he's making.
He doesn't even need, like, the shield is just to make himself feel better. You're a freaking super soldier. You don't need the shield. Like,
truth. But
it's just to make himself feel better. He's tied his identity to an inanimate object.
Yep.
Well, Captain America tossed that right after he fought Iron Man, right? He takes the shield and throws it, right? It's not about the shield.
Correct.
To be Captain America, but Walker thinks it's about the shield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if
he has
you
no
really
moral
watch
compass.
it as a nerd like I am, my man's spray painting his hand. His thumb is full of red paint.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, I was like, move. Is it going to be a thumbprint? I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to feel bad when the guy tries to use the shield and it just shatters when something hits it. Like,
Bucky's hand.
Bucky's hand just going to shatter the freaking shield. Like, holy shit, it didn't work. Yeah. Vibranium.
No, we're gonna get that scene. You know the scene where the Flag Smasher hits John Walker with the pipe and he grabs the pipe and bends it.
He bends it, yeah.
We're gonna get this. I'm hoping it's Bucky who does it. Who bends the shield.
Just bends the shield. That'd be awesome.
It's like, oh yeah, what the okay.
No,
So-
I hope it's the Dora Milaje, because then he'll be like,
Look.
they're not even super soldiers.
So the episode ends with that. The credits run. So that leaves us with one episode. And
Final.
I kind of feel like, I mean, we did this with WandaVision as well. We're like, there's so many answers we need to get. Can we get all these answers in one episode? Sam, do you think we can get all the answers from all the stuff that's been brought out in this show? Do you think we can get even half of the answers? Do you think so?
I think the way that they have been running this show, we will have all of our questions answered this time.
Okay.
I think we need to see, though. We need to see Taurus take on the Falcon wings.
Mm-hmm. I think David's right. I think we will see that, I think.
I would like to see the reveal of the power broker. That may be the only thing that we don't see. If we do, it'll probably be post-credit scene.
Credit, yeah.
I do think that we're going to see Sam and Bucky stop Carly without killing her. That would be like the ideal situation, I think. John Walker will be in the action somehow. I don't think that he is going to redeem himself at all. I think he's going to go down a darker path.
I think he's going to kill Carly. That's my opinion. I think he's going to kill her and in like a fit of rage. That's my prediction. But
the big thing that I would want, send him to the Raft. Exactly. He's going to be sent to the Raft to be with Zemo and Thunderbolt Ross. But the big thing that I really, really want to see from this episode is I want to see Sam publicly recognized and accepted as Captain America.
No, so I have one that's David. I forget exactly what it was in Wakanda when we watched WandaVision. When we watched WandaVision,
thank you, Bill.
You claimed you nailed something in foreshadowing, and you said it was going to happen, and it happened. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you nailed it. I hope I'm right on this. And the last scene that we see, and I get myself an ice cream if we do, is the last scene before the end credit.
Who laughed?
Is everyone at the museum with a whole big panel of Isaiah.
Oh.
Where now the world is told Isaiah's story. That's what I want for the ending.
I would love that.
I have one too. Similar. Not similar. It's different, but in the same vein. I want to see at the end credit, not the end credit, sorry, before the end of the show. And I think it will set up very beautifully and the way that they can do it and stuff. I don't think the world's going to know who Isaiah is. So what I would like to see happen is somehow he's watching the news with his grandson, and they see there's a new shot of the Falcon as, Captain America holding the shield, like they're just this news thing saying new Captain America or whatever it says, and he's sitting there in his chair, and the grandson is beaming because we know he's the Patriot, is beaming, and you see a tear come out of Isaiah. That right there would be like, oh yes, that's how. Because no one's saying he's wrong for his feelings, but he gets to realize like it's possible that they will recognize the Black Captain America, and his grandson is sitting there watching the news as they're showing somehow Sam on the TV and stuff, and the grandson is like, man, I know that dude, like that's, and then set up Young Avengers, Patriot. So that's how I would like to see. Wow. That's what I would like to see.
They are setting up Dark Avengers, Young Avengers. We are.
So
we got a whole lot going on.
That just right there, though, shows how this show is so much different than Wanda, because we wanted to see Mephisto and we wanted to see who this was and the reveal. Here, we're looking for closure of a story.
Yep, I agree.
That's why I think this show. I know when you say it's better, it's like choosing which child's better and that whole thing. But this one, this show resonated more with me than just comic books.
Yep.
So that's why this one's better.
So here's can I talk about a fear that I have?
Yes.
That the show could very well do, and it plays out this way. Bucky goes to the father of the I can't remember the guy's
Yuri.
name, Yuri, and he doesn't get forgiveness. It's not, they're not talking about fairy tale stuff. They're talking about real life things and real life traumas and stuff. And it's very possible we're expecting he's going to forgive. He's going to come clean. He's going to forgive. He may not get it. So then he gets to kind of has to deal with that. So I don't want to see that. I would love to see the fairy tale closing of he comes clean, Yuri forgives him, embraces him, or whatever. But if we're going into the reality, we know that that's not always the case. So
right.
There's
Or
a
does
chance
he
may
say,
not.
I know? I knew.
Yeah.
I think if he says I knew, forgiveness comes because how could you maybe I think maybe forgiveness comes when you know you can be that close to somebody, let a friendship build and know that whole time. So I don't know. I hope so. I hope.
Yeah. Do we see War Machine?
Closure.
Do we see War Machine again?
I hope so, man. That just I want to see War Machine. I want him dude. I told you got the suit right on. Like he comes in and helps with the fight. I like to see War Machine, but I don't know. It might be a one and done cameo for Don Cheadle.
Like Battlestar.
Oh, Battlestar. Rest in peace.
But you got to remember, isn't Don Cheadle going to be the lead in
Wonder Years?
What's it called?
Oh.
Iron.
Iron Wars.
Iron Wars, right?
Yeah. He is. This is his series, so
okay.
He could be a part of that. Yeah. I don't know.
There's a lot coming up. We're excited. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say about this week's episode?
It was great. It was emotional for me.
Yeah.
Hearing the story, like I said, I tied it with my grandfather as far as the dynamic between Sam and Isaiah, and it was great. It was real. I think it was really great writing, and I loved it. It was good.
Yep. Agreed. Chris, anything from you?
As the one little Easter egg, like Sam said, as he ran past his nephews all day.
Yeah.
I could watch this episode all day.
Yeah, I agree.
And David, again, thank you for sharing that story.
Oh, for sure.
It resonated tremendously.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's episode of the Marvel Tribe. For Chris, for David, for Sam, myself, I want to thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next week for the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.